Hello you guys, welcome back to a new video. This is going to be a quick one, but it is one that you have been asking me for literally years. If you guys have been around on my channel for any amount of time over the past like 6 years that I've been making YouTube videos, you know that I am a huge lover of the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This has been my go-to setting spray since before I was a makeup artist. Like since I first started wearing makeup as a teenager, I would buy this in the old white and purple packaging. It would get so dirty and covered in makeup, and it has come with me through the years into my career as an MUA. I use it on all of my clients. I use it on myself religiously. It is an incredible setting spray that really helps your makeup last. However, you guys know that I am also a huge fan of the Charlotte Tilbury brand. I used to actually work for Charlotte Tilbury, but when I was working for Charlotte Tilbury, she didn't have a setting spray, and after I left the brand, she came out with one. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, and this has become a cult favorite. I know it is a top seller for her. Tons of women love it and use it in their daily lives. I see tons of MUAs using it in their makeup kits, and a lot of you guys have been asking me to compare the difference, explain the difference between the two, and so that is what today's video is going to be. Let's jump right into it. So lots of times when I do videos like these, they're more first impression type videos, but as you can see, I've been using this for quite some time now. I just picked up a travel size of it, mostly because I wanted to try it out, and if I did end up liking it, I like to carry the travel size in my kit. So if I do end up switching to this, I'll actually start buying full sizes and just pouring them into the travel size so that I'm not hauling around the full size of it to every job with me. But yeah, you can see I've used a good amount, so I do have some thoughts already formulated on how I feel about this product, which we will get to in a little bit. But first things first, let's talk about kind of the major differences between the two. So first, the price. Speaking about the full size versions of these products, the Urban Decay All Nighter in the full size is $45 and you get 118 ml, and the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray is $48 and you get 100 ml of product. So the Urban Decay one costs less and you get more. However, Charlotte Tilbury has a pro discount, so if you are a pro, you can apply for the pro discount and get 30% off of all of the Charlotte Tilbury products. So in the end, if you are a pro MUA, the Charlotte Tilbury one is going to be the better deal for you. But if you're not, you're going to get more for your money with Urban Decay. Another major difference between the two in terms of formulation is the Charlotte Tilbury one is alcohol free, whereas the Urban Decay one is not. I am not someone who finds that having alcohol in a setting spray affects my skin in any way. I don't find it having any type of detrimental effects, but for those with sensitive skin or some people who may be sensitive to alcohol as an ingredient, Charlotte Tilbury is going to be a go-to one for you because it is alcohol free. The Charlotte Tilbury one is scented. There's definitely a fragrance to this, which is not my favorite, but luckily isn't too strong. The Urban Decay one is not. Looking at the ingredients for the Charlotte Tilbury on the Sephora website, it doesn't look like there's actually any added fragrance. So the scent that you notice when you spray this is just the smell coming from some of the natural ingredients that are in the spray. I'm also actually seeing here in the ingredients that there is alcohol in here. So the last ingredient on the list is phenyl alcohol, and it says in brackets as a preservative. So because it's the last one on the ingredient list, it is going to be a tiny, tiny little bit amount of alcohol. Whereas with the Urban Decay, it's the second ingredient on the list after water. So there's way, way more alcohol in here, and it's actually functioning as an ingredient to help the makeup stay in place. Whereas in the Airbrush Charlotte Tilbury spray, it's just acting as a preservative, and there's just a tiny little amount of it in there. It's interesting because I've heard this marketed as alcohol free, but there is a little bit in there. I guess it's just such a small amount that they can claim that. Anyways, the last kind of major difference in terms of like the product packaging and everything is the sprayers. So the sprayer on the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush is much finer of a mist. It comes out of the sprayer in tiny, tiny little misty droplets, and it takes a little bit longer for the sprays to land on the skin, whereas the Urban Decay one is just a little bit more aggressive and it kind of squirts out a little bit more. I've never really had any issues with the sprayer on here, but I definitely noticed that this one is much more fine. So when it comes to performance and finish, there are some differences as well. And so I thought it would be fun to try half of my face with the Urban Decay and half of my face with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush, and then show you how each side compares right after application as well as at the end of a long day. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just tie my hair back so that my hair doesn't get wet. So let's do the left side of my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter. And I want to do the same number of sprays. So let's do this. All right, so 3 sprays. And then let's do the same thing over here, but with the Charlotte Tilbury. So hopefully you could notice a difference in the way that they spray, even just from like the noise that they make. I just panicked that my mic wasn't plugged in because I've filmed a whole nother video before this, but it is. So I'm just gonna let these dry down. Okay, so right off the bat, I hope that you guys can see this on the camera, but this is the side with the Charlotte Tilbury and this is the side with the Urban Decay. So you can, I don't know if you can tell, like even just from looking at my forehead straight on, but the side with the Charlotte Tilbury actually leaves a luminous finish on the skin. So there are all different types of setting sprays. There are long wear setting sprays, there are mattifying setting sprays, there are dewy setting sprays. For example, the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist is not a setting spray that is meant to make your makeup last longer. It's one that is meant to add a glow to the skin. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless setting spray definitely does both. So spoiler alert, it does help with the longevity and the wear time of my makeup, but it actually adds a glow and a sheen to the skin as well. Whereas the Urban Decay one dries down. You can see there's like highlight from my highlighter on the top of my cheekbone here, but there isn't a ton of glow anywhere else on my face in comparison. You can see like there's just a lot more glow happening here than there is here. So I'm someone who really likes to use a lot of glowy products. I like to really have a glowy base. I like to use glowy foundations. I like to add highlighter. And I actually find that when I use this and I do all of my other steps to add glow and luminosity to my skin, this is almost adding too much glow to my makeup. I know that it's hard to believe that I could say that anything is too glowy, and the product itself isn't, just combined with the way that I do my makeup to make it so glowy on its own, to then add this final layer of glow all over top of everything, I just feel like is a little bit overkill. That's also a reason why I wouldn't use this exclusively in my makeup kit as my setting spray. I typically only carry around one setting spray. I find that the Urban Decay All Nighter works for everyone and does everything that I need it to. I haven't ever found the need to carry multiple setting sprays around with me. If I did carry this around in my kit, I feel like I would need to have something else as well. For anyone who has oily skin or is looking for a more matte finish, this I feel like wouldn't be ideal for them. So that's a big difference in terms of the finishes of the product itself. So it's 12:30 right now. I'm going to wear this makeup throughout the rest of the day. I have some errands to run, I have some work to do. So at the end of the night, we'll come back and we will compare both sides and see if there's any difference in terms of how they extend the wear of the makeup underneath. So I will see you guys in 3, 2, 1. Hello. It is 9 p.m. So I have, at this point, had my makeup on for over 8 hours. So I'm gonna zoom in on both sides of my face here. And I have to say, I haven't actually done this side-by-side comparison before, so I wasn't exactly sure how they were going to compare side-by-side. So in terms of longevity and how long my makeup lasted, I think if you compare the two sides, the side that I sprayed the Charlotte Tilbury on, if you look at my blush and my bronzer, it's holding on better than it is over here. Also, I'm gonna try and zoom into my smile lines here to show you my smile lines, but the one on this side is creasing worse than the one on this side. I would say that the Charlotte Tilbury holds on to the makeup longer, just is holding on to just a little bit more of my makeup and just keeping everything a little bit more in place. If I had to choose a winner in terms of which one made my makeup last the best, the longest, I am gonna have to go with the Charlotte Tilbury, which actually surprised me because I was thinking when I started filming this video that it was going to go the other way. I feel like my highlight is showing better on this side than it is on this side. Like it's almost completely gone from this side, but my bronzer has stuck on longer. Whereas here, the highlight is still holding on and I don't have as much bronzer. So honestly, it's very evenly matched in terms of how long the makeup lasts. For me, in the end, I think I am gonna stick with the Urban Decay for my freelance kit just because I feel like it's a little bit more versatile. It's gonna work for a wider range of people. But if you're into the softer mist, you like a little bit of luxury, a little bit of fragrance in your day, this definitely works. Definitely improves the longevity of the makeup that you put it on top of. And if you're wanting to add a little bit of extra glow and shine to your skin, this is a nice way to top everything off and kind of add that extra sheen as well. All my oily skinned gals, I would probably skip it and stick with the Urban Decay. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.
Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty hands.